What made you go on your villain arc? My daughter disappeared after the school ignored her bullying. They found her messages, popular girls threatening to share her private photos, saying she should vanish. The principal said teens will be teens and suggested she transfer. The ringleader's mom was the school board president. Her dad owned half the town. Police said there wasn't enough evidence. The news wouldn't touch it. My baby was gone while those girls posted prom photos. I lost everything after that day. Couldn't focus. Spent weeks reading her diary, finding names. Then I discovered she wasn't their first target. 3 other girls had left school. 2 ended up in hospitals. All cases varied. I got hired as the school's night janitor. Found emails on unlocked computers, teachers reporting bullying, getting transferred. The board president calling families, offering donations to stay quiet, a system protecting monsters. I created accounts, gathered evidence for months, screen recorded everything. Then I noticed something. The board was stealing millions from special needs programs. Got proof of fake documents, secret meetings, everything. I sent it all to federal agents and every news station during graduation. They took down half the board on live TV. The truth about my daughter went viral. Those girls' college acceptances vanished overnight. My daughter suffered because money bought silence, so I made silence more expensive than justice.
My daughter's teacher made her run laps with a broken ankle, and karma hit back hard. I knew something was wrong when my daughter limped off the school bus. Her face was red and streaked with tears, and she was clutching her backpack like it was keeping her upright. My heart dropped. "What happened, sweetie?" I asked, helping her to the car. "I fell during recess," she whispered, her voice shaking. "I was playing on the monkey bars and slipped. Miss Thompson said I was faking it and made me do PE anyway. She told everyone I was just trying to get attention." My blood boiled. She couldn't even put weight on her foot, but her teacher forced her to run 4 laps around the track. When my daughter cried and begged to stop, the teacher told her to stop being dramatic. I drove straight to the ER. The X-rays showed what I already knew. Her ankle was broken in 2 places. The doctor was horrified when he heard what happened. The next morning, I marched into the principal's office with the medical report. But here's the crazy part. Ms. Thompson walked in while I was there, limping. Turns out she'd twisted her own ankle in the parking lot that morning. She looked at me, then at my daughter's X-rays on the desk, and her face went pale. The principal suspended her for a week without pay. But the real karma? She had to sit through all her classes with a throbbing ankle because she wouldn't want to be dramatic about it. Sometimes the universe delivers justice in the most perfect way.
Dads, what was your don't tell mom about this moment? Mine happened when my daughter was 7 and almost got us both in serious trouble. My wife is deathly allergic to shellfish, carries 2 EpiPens everywhere and has been hospitalized 3 times kind of allergic. Because of this, we had one absolute rule in our house. No seafood, ever. Not even in restaurants if my wife was meeting us later. Too risky. My daughter understood this completely. She'd seen her mom's throat close up once when a restaurant messed up, and it terrified her. But kids are kids, and when my daughter's best friend brought coconut shrimp to their school potluck, she couldn't resist trying one. Just one. I got the call from school around noon. "Your daughter is complaining about her tongue feeling funny and her lips looking puffy." My heart nearly stopped. I knew exactly what was happening. When I got there, her lips were definitely swelling, but not dangerously yet. The school nurse wanted to call an ambulance, but I panicked thinking about my wife finding out. "She just needs Benadryl," I insisted against my better judgment. "I'll take her home." I gave her the Benadryl I kept in the car, watched her like a hawk for an hour, and thankfully the symptoms started to fade. She was fine, just tired from the medication. That's when the real problem hit me. If my wife saw her puffy face, she'd know immediately, and she'd absolutely lose it that I didn't take our daughter to the ER for her first allergic reaction. I told my daughter she needed to take a nap, hoping the swelling would go down completely. Then I frantically started looking up how to reduce facial swelling, ice packs, elevation, anti-inflammatory cream that I slathered on her still puffy cheeks. Nothing was working fast enough. My wife would be home in 2 hours. I called my sister, a nurse, in complete panic mode. After chewing me out for not going to the hospital, she suggested a cold cucumber mask might help with the residual puffiness. So there I was, with my drowsy 7-year-old lying on the couch with cucumber slices all over her face, still slightly puffy, when my wife walked in 2 hours early. "What's happening?" she asked, looking at the bizarre scene. My daughter, still loopy from Benadryl, proudly announced, "We're doing spa day because I ate a shrimp and got puffy." I watched all the color drain from my wife's face. "You what? And you didn't call me? Or go to the hospital?" Her voice was deadly quiet. I tried explaining that it was mild, that I monitored her closely, that I had it under control, but my wife just picked up our daughter, cucumber slices falling everywhere, and drove straight to the pediatrician's office. I spent the night on the couch. For a week, my wife barely spoke to me. What hit hardest was when she finally said, "I thought we were partners in keeping her safe. Now I know I can't trust you with that." The pediatrician confirmed my daughter had developed a shellfish allergy, not as severe as my wife's, but real. We now had to carry EpiPens for both of them. The strange twist? My wife's allergist explained that children often develop allergies similar to their parents through shared genetics. If we hadn't discovered it in this controlled way, her first reaction might have been much worse, possibly at a friend's house with no one knowing what was happening. 3 months later, my wife admitted that while I should have gone to the ER, finding out about the allergy early might have prevented something catastrophic. My daughter's now 12, and whenever shellfish comes up, my wife still gives me this look. Not quite forgiveness, not quite anger, but something in between that reminds me how quickly I could have lost everything trying to avoid getting in trouble. Turns out, some things you absolutely should tell mom about, no matter how scared you are of the consequences. My dad framed my brother to save himself, so I became the son he couldn't outrun. Dad's legal firm was everything to him. Founded it himself, built it for 30 years, put it above his own family. When money started disappearing from client accounts, everyone assumed it was Mark, my older brother who worked in accounting there. The evidence looked solid. Logan records, transfers made from his computer, even security footage of him staying late on nights when funds moved. Police arrested him at our house while Dad watched silently, his face blank as stone. Mark kept saying the same thing over and over. "Dad, tell them. You know I didn't do this." But Dad just looked away. Something felt wrong. Mark was careless sometimes, but never a thief. The night before the arrest, I'd seen Dad in his home office, shredding stacks of papers with shaking hands. When he noticed me watching, he slammed the door so hard the frame cracked. At the trial, Dad testified against Mark. I wanted to believe in my son's innocence, he told the jury, voice cracking just enough. But the evidence doesn't lie. The performance was perfect, the respected lawyer reluctantly doing his civic duty. Mark got 8 years. I was 17 then. I visited Mark every month while finishing high school. Find the backup server, he whispered during one visit. Dad keeps everything. Always has. Turns out, Dad's generation never trusted the cloud. He kept a mirrored backup server running in our basement, hidden behind the furnace. I found it while he was at a conference, logged in using his birthday. Amateur move for a supposedly brilliant lawyer. The files told the real story. Dad had been siphoning from accounts for years. Small amounts at first, then larger as his gambling debts grew. He'd been doctoring records, but he needed someone to take the fall when the firm's annual audit approached. Mark was convenient. I didn't confront him. Instead, I made copies of everything. Then I applied to law school, the same one Dad attended. He was so proud the night I got accepted that he actually hugged me for the first time in years. Following in my footsteps, he said, patting my back. If only he knew. I studied harder than anyone in my class. Graduated top 5%. When I got hired at the state prosecutor's office, Dad threw me a party. All his colleagues were there, raising glasses to his legacy. For 2 years, I built my reputation, handling small cases, gaining trust. Then I requested assignment to the Financial Crimes Division. Last month, I walked into Dad's firm with 6 officers and a warrant. The managing partners watched in shock as we seized servers and files. Dad wasn't there. Golf day. So I drove to the country club myself. I found him on the 9th hole. When he saw my face, he knew. What did you do? He whispered. My job, I said, handing him the warrant with my signature on it. His hands trembled as he read the charges. Wire fraud, embezzlement, obstruction, framing an innocent man. The officers took him away in view of everyone he'd ever tried to impress. The case was solid. His own backup server providing most of the evidence. Yesterday was Mark's first day of freedom. 8 years of his life gone. We sat on my porch drinking beers, not talking about Dad's upcoming trial. Was it worth it? Mark finally asked. Law school? Prosecutor's office? Living his dream just to destroy it? I thought about Dad's face when I handed him that warrant. The moment he realized the son he'd molded in his image had become the perfect weapon against him. Yes, I said. It was worth every second.